Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an exciting video. Let's jump right in and we're going to talk about overthinking, because if you've ever found yourself like lying in bed and spiraling down for something that is just so small and really convinced of yourself that your life is just falling apart, listen, you are not alone. Trust me, I've been there, we all have been, and actually for many years I really let my thoughts to take me to those kind of like chaotic joy rides and really convincing myself to the worst case scenario was the only possible. And even now, still, sometimes it happens, but here's the difference. I have learned how to respond to those thoughts differently. And today, I want to show you one powerful thing that you can do right now that will change the way that you deal with your thoughts, especially when your mind starts spinning around and there's a lot of noise going on. This isn't a trick, this isn't a hack, this is actually a deeper practice, one that is rooted in kindness, in awareness, and self-leadership. And it changed everything for me. But before we kick in, let's just start from the top and discuss what overthinking really is. To me, overthinking is what happens when your mind leaves the present and starts spinning in the past or the future. And that's when you start looping into something that already happened, or start to get really worried about something that hasn't really happened yet. And this is the hard truth. Neither of those things actually exist. The past, well, already happened, and the future, it hasn't even arrived yet. But your mind, oh boy, it loves to live there, right? Replaying, rewinding, fast forwarding everything, and completely skipping the only place that your power actually lives, and is right here, right now. And that's the trap of overthinking. It pulls you out from the present moment, out of your breath and out of your body, and put you into a headspace that feels noisy, overwhelming, and just disconnected. And when you are already dealing with stress, lack of sleep, or even hormonal imbalance, it becomes even easier to spiral, just to take hold and out of control. But here is the good news. Overthinking isn't just you, it's not your identity, it's just a habit, it's just a pattern. I tend to see it as a bunch of thoughts playing dressed up as a reality. And the moment that you realize that, you kind of start to do something powerful. Listen to this. You're gonna start to listen to your mind without believing everything that it says. And that's when things really begins to shift. That's when self-awareness kicks in. And that's when you go from like chaos to clarity. So let me introduce you to something actually that I know very well, and I call it the monkey mind. And it's that moment that you're trying to focus, you're trying to stay calm, you're trying to stay present, and all of a sudden it's noisy, it's messy, and let's be honest, it's exhausting. That's what overthinking feels like. And I started to call it the monkey mind, just to have a little fun with that. But because sometimes when you name something, you take back your power. But here is another way to look at it, and that actually helped me quite recently to explain it to one of my students. Think of your thoughts like a group chat. Seriously, your mind is like a WhatsApp group, and all the parts of you, they're just typing at the same time. 1 minute, fear comes in and sends a voice note, and then doubt replies with a meme, and all of a sudden the inner critic just drops this massive paragraph at 2 in the morning. Meanwhile, for example, excitement is just typing, and then all of a sudden it deletes it all. While, for example, your self-worth, mute the chat, and it's just offline. If you think about it, it's kind of hilarious, but at the same time, it's a bit real, right? But here is the point. These voices are all part of you, but they are not all of you. You are not the chat, you are the one that is reading the messages. And the moment you realize about this, you can pause, you can breathe, and you can observe those voices instead to reacting to them. And this is when overthinking starts to lose the grip. It becomes something that you can relate to, but not something that you were trapped inside. And that would bring me to the next step, which is a powerful method that I use on my coaching, that it gives those voices a seat on the table without letting them to run the show. And I want to talk about you about the internal family system. So I told you a little bit about the monkey mind, and I explained you a little bit about the group chat. Now, let's go something a bit deeper, and let's talk about something that really changed my relationship with my thoughts. And it's something called the internal family system, or IFS. Now, listen, don't worry, it sounds very serious, but it's just a simple technique. It's just a way of understanding your inner world with more clarity and with more compassion. Let me tell you a little bit about IFS. IFS was developed in the 90s by a therapist called Richard Schwartz, and is a family therapist who realized that people aren't just one single identity. They are made of many parts, like an internal system of personalities, beliefs, and voices. And they all want to be heard. But here's the magic of it. Beneath all those parts of fear, doubt, overachiever, the inner critic, the inner child, there's something deeper. That is yourself, your true self, the one that it is calm, clear, that it is compassionate, that it is courageous, and it is that part that doesn't need to fight or to prove anything. It's the one who can lead with love. So IFS teach you to recognize these voices and speak with them kindly and give them a space without letting them taking over your life. Let me, for example, give you a quick example. Imagine you want to start a new project, and all of a sudden you hear that voice that says, "What if you fail? This is too risky. Just don't do it." You see, we heard this at some point. So instead of shutting that down and spiraling with fear, IFS invites you to pause and say, "This is my fear part speaking. I see you. I know that you're trying to protect me. Thank you for taking the time and caring about my safety. But now I got this." You see the response? It's a game changer, because the goal isn't silence your part. Is to leave them with compassion, is to build a relationship with them, just like you would with a family member or a friend. You don't want to kick out anyone of the dinner party. You just have to learn how to listen to them without letting them run the table. And that's one of the techniques that I use in my coaching, and I have examples of this on my Patreon. We use these tools and another meditation, journalings, and dialogue techniques that helps you to meet your parts, to draw with them, to talk to them, and even laugh with them. Trust me, listen, I have an entire conversations with my inner critic, and I did make peace with my imposter part. And honestly, he kind of become my best friend now. It just comes up and I just love chatting to him when it comes up, because when you stop fighting your inner world, that's when you start healing, and the self, the true you, becomes the leader of your own life. So listen, here's what I want to take from this video. You don't have to silence your mind to find peace. You don't have to fix every thought. You don't even have to stop overthinking completely. What you can do starting today is this: listen to them, name the parts, and lead them with love. The voice of fear is just trying to protect you. Your critic is just trying badly to keep you away from disappointment. And that part of you that spirals down at night is just scared, it's not broken. And guess what? If you can pause and say, who is speaking right now? And what do they need from me? And for example, and how can I respond to them as a self, not as the fear? Then you are already started the work. That's already awareness. You are already in leadership. You are already shifting from the chaos and the overthinking to clarity and compassion. Because peace doesn't come from perfection. It comes from relationships. It comes from tuning inwards. And listen, I really want to help you with this. And if you want to get to know your inner world in a real, in a more compassionate and creative way, I would love to invite you to join my Patreon channel, where I can guide you deeper with different techniques like IFS. We do meditations, we do journaling, we do visualizations, and even I have a drawing technique which helps a lot. Honestly, think about my Patreon like a coaching, a healing, and a community place all into one place. And you can join at any level that feels right for you. And always, you can check my website and connect with more of the work that I do. If this video has resonated with you, please leave it a comment down below and tell me which part show up the most when you overthink. Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. And listen, share it with someone that might need it. Listen, wrapping up, you don't have to eliminate the noise. All you have to do is lead them with love. Thank you so much for watching. And I can't wait to see you on the next video. Bye for now.